How is your scripture writing going? I haven't made a video in a month now, and I've gotten a couple of questions about my scripture writing. I was gung-ho in September, and it was smooth sailing. My scripture writing turned out beautifully. I set it up with the Prayerful Planner scripture writing plan, and each day I stuck to writing the scripture verse. And then in October, I really loved the theme, Faith Over Fear. And I started writing the scriptures, and then the scriptures were a little longer than our ones in September. So I wanted to give you an update about my scripture writing. Hopefully it will inspire you to continue writing your scriptures or to get started. So let's begin. Welcome to Rooted in Faith. I'm Kelly Berry. Join me on the spiritual journey to becoming the women God created each of us to be. I wanted to share a scripture writing update with you about how my scripture writing has been going and give you just a preview of what I've done for August, September, and today is the last day of October, and I'm getting ready to set up for my November scripture writing. So this is the little planner that I got back in August, probably the end of July actually, when it was time for school to start, and I did a video on this planner, which is actually a regular planner that you could plan your day out. But I thought it would be the perfect scripture writing journal because, like I said, it has a little spot for each day to write. And I thought, oh, that looks perfect for writing scripture. Well, I follow the Prayerful Planner group on Facebook. And in August, she posted the title, Speak Life. And that really spoke to me about being more positive and lifting others up. And so I printed out her plan, which was gives you a verse for every day of the month. And then she has these beautiful stickers that I added to my journal. And then I just kept up with a couple of posts that I did in August on my YouTube channel. And then I used a highlighter and I highlighted the day, and then I used clear sticker paper to print out each verse label, and I just kind of coordinated that with my highlighter, and then I was able to write the scripture verse. So I did that for the whole month of August, and I really enjoyed that. And each verse pretty much fit within the slot that I needed it to. And if it was a longer verse, like I would read the verse and realize, oh, it's a little longer, I would try to squeeze in 2 into my one space. So on like the 12th, I had to squeeze it in. But as I started my September writing, I tried to do it in a little bit bigger journal. This one right here, Focus, is my word of the year. So I started writing it in this bigger journal, and I was going to do the SOAP method, but I'm a school teacher and school started at the very end of August. And so by September, we were really in the thick of it, and I just did not feel like I had the time to spend doing the SOAP method. So I came back to my little journal and we wrote about the biblical basics. I put her plan here and then distributed the stickers, and some of these were longer and I did have to squeeze them in more, but they're still very legible and I was able to write and enjoy that. But as I got into August, rather than just one verse per day, sometimes there were many verses. So this one was 4 through 7, 5 through 8, 1 through 6. And actually the other day someone asked me, well, how are you writing your longer scripture in this little planner? So I thought I would share that with you and then show you how I'm going to set up for November. October's theme was Faith Over Fear, which I really like. And these verses are almost all much longer. So I started out writing them like this. And then if it would run long, I would turn my journal and write down the sides of it. And then I realized, oh my, these are getting really long. And so I used these clear sticky notes to write and then just add it to that day. And then one day was kind of short. And then I kept adding, the clear sticky notes, and that's okay. But then I started thinking about writing them out and putting in little sheets of paper like tip-ins I've seen people do in their Bibles or in journals. And I thought, well, that would probably work for this, but because it's such a small planner, I would need smaller paper. And it was really actually kind of challenging to find because I didn't want it to have the adhesive on the back. I wanted to be able to put it in with some of this washi tape. So anyway, I ordered these on Amazon and I love them because they are small enough. I think they're 6 1/4 to fit within the small size of this planner, and they're about 2 3/4 inches wide. And so what I did is wrote the date. 10/14 was the first one that was really long, and I like to include the title of that section in the Bible. So this was God's perfect knowledge of man. And I wrote out the scripture until I couldn't write it anymore. And then I came over and concluded. So it was verses 1 through 5. And so this is where verse 4 picks up. And I was able to add it on this little sheet. And I love that it has these little papers are Christian based. And it says, "Don't you be afraid, for I am with you," Isaiah 41:10. And I like the color that it kind of coordinated with the October colors that the Prayerful Planner chose for our scripture writing. And then behind it, I did 10:15. So that one was also a longer verse, 6 through 10, included several verses. And 10:17. 10:17 was very long. So that's how I was doing it. Well, you're going to, I hope you love this because I thought it was really clever. But because they're narrower as the month went on, then I decided, oh, I needed more days. And so I separated them like this. This was 10:26, and then under it, 10:27 flips out. So I can still read what's under here, and I can see the separation for the days. And then this is this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today is Thursday. And so I just thought I would write that with you all, 31:6. And if you're not familiar with it, actually I'm using my phone to record this video, so I'm not going to be able to write it because I always look it up on my phone, and then I compare the scriptures, and then I'll write them in here. So this is 10:28, this is 10:29, and this one's 10:30. And I think that today's is only a single verse. It's a little bit longer. I've already read it, but I just didn't write it because I was waiting to write it with you all. Maybe I'll grab my Bible and write it. This is one of the Bibles that I'm using right now. We're doing a women's Bible study, and I want to get back on here and start recording the videos for this study because it has been amazing. I've spent this last year really delving into the Bible. I've almost read the whole Old Testament, and I've been working on the New Testament with my daughter, and I'm just learning a lot, and I am so excited to share with you all what I've learned. Okay, Deuteronomy is after Numbers. Let me see where I am. Deuteronomy 31:6. And I'm getting really familiar with where the books are in the Bible. I don't even need the tabs on here anymore. There's occasionally a time when I have to go back and look it up, but I'm really getting more comfortable with my Bible. So it's been great to read through it this year. All right, we're at 31:6. I'm going to turn back. And this Bible, I believe, is the NKJV. Yes, it is. New King James Version. I like this version because it's the closest to the King James Version that still makes sense to me. And so when I write this little spiral, I just flip it out of the way so that I can get down here and write. And 31:6 says, "Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord your God, He is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you." So I'm going to start that here. And be strong and of good courage.
Come to me, my yoke is easy. Leave your cares, I'll give you rest. Come to me, my yoke is easy. Leave your cares, I'll give you rest. Come to me.
Okay, so that fits perfectly. And then I can just fold these back down. And now I'm ready to start my November writing. If you would like to see how I set up my November scripture writing with the Prayerful Planner scripture writing plan, check out the link or click in the description box below.